Hello, Reese from the Point Music Podcast thingy. Another episode. Our special guest this time around is the incredibly amazing and the very well known Sarah McLeod. She of the Super Jesus and her solo career. We're talking about her One Electric Lady tour. She's got coming up starting on June 1st at the Imperial Hotel New Monday, and it's lots of dates all over the country. We talk about all the history sort of stuff with the Super Jesus and her solo stuff. Who she's worked with. Man, I chuck all these weird and wonderful questions at her that I just want to know because she's a legend. So here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, people of all sorts. This is Sarah McLeod. And we're rolling. Sarah McLeod, welcome to the Point Music Podcast thingy. I have to say it's an absolute honor to actually have you on here because I've been a big Super Jesus fan for quite some time. I mean, I'm in my 40s, so you were like Gravity, so Jet Age and Sumo were my jam, basically, in the 90s.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Reese. Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So we're having you on here because, one, you doing a new set of solo shows. It's a reprise of, what's it called again? Hang on. One Electric Lady Tour. It's been a long day for me, mate. Because you actually have done this tour once, but it's a reprise, right?
Well, when I say reprise, it's pretty loose. It's the only thing about it that's a reprise is that I'm touring again, but and using the same artwork because I like the poster, so I called it a reprise. But basically, when I did the last tour, it was more of an electric. I designed this guitar that plays bass and guitar at the same time, so I was out playing that, but I had just started learning how to play piano. So I put myself on as the support act as the piano player because I was still learning and my playing had severe shortcomings. So I would say to everybody, hey, my guitar show is on later, but for now I'm going to sit here and just learn on the job and I'm going to play piano and sing songs. And there will be mistakes and people would sit there and hold their breath because they never know if I'm going to make it to the end of the song without stuffing it up. So that went down really well. And then since then I've been practicing. So this tour, the piano player is now part of the show, if not be most of the show. Like I notice when I'm sitting here curating the set, the guitar songs are getting like less and less and less. Like, I'll do that one. I'll do that one on piano too. I'm like, fuck, do I even need to bring a guitar at this rate? So it's sort of become a totally different thing.
I like
with the same name.
So one thing I noticed digging back through your discography, disregarding the Super Jesus stuff because I love the Super Jesus stuff, but going through your solo stuff, how closer and closer you're getting to a more theatrical sort of sound. Like you listen to the difference between your first solo album compared to Rocky's Diner, and Rocky's Diner's got a hell of a lot of theatrical sort of sensibility to it. Then I realized and remembered you were in Green Day's American Idiot too, weren't you?
Yeah. And then last year I was in a production for the same theatre company of Jane Eyre, and I wrote the score for that.
Did see that.
And yeah, if you think Rocky's Diner's theatrical, you should go and listen to Jane Eyre. That's next level theatrical.
Well, I like
Dark and Gothic.
Rocky's Diner had more like the rock opera kind of vibe to it. That's what I because I had listened to it a long time ago when it came out because it came out in what 2017, is that when it came out?
Yeah, 2016. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So like we've had that 3-year blip of just stupidity of like where things went crazy and that sort of stuff. So I've lost 3 years a lot of the time anyway. So only something that was released 7 years ago feels like it was only released last year.
I know. Tell me about it.
So is that something you would really want to pursue further, like the whole theatrical aspect of stuff? Because you seem to like have a knack for it.
Yes and no. I like doing it in short spurts. I wouldn't want to do only that. I find theatre challenging, but I also find it really restrictive. And I'm a bit of a loose cannon, and I like to freestyle, and I like to change things as I'm going, and that's how I feed. Like I love to fly by the seat of my pants, and you're not really allowed to do that in the theatre at all.
No.
So I find that constrictive. But I also love the challenge of having to do it by the book and having to do it the same way every night and the amount of work that goes into each production. Like I enjoy all that. Jane Eyre, we toured Jane Eyre for 7 months. So that
Cool.
was a long tour. To not be able to freestyle on a 7 month tour, I was a bit like, you know.
You feeling like restricted with that?
Yeah, I was, because like some nights I would change the songs a little bit, and the sound guy would say to me, "Hey, you played it differently." I'd be like, "Yeah, so what? I wrote it. Like, it's not like I'm playing Evita. Like, it's not Andrew Lloyd Webber or something. Like, I'm they're not gonna know." So yeah, I find that difficult, but so I sort of need a balance. Like, I like to be able to do rock and roll. I like to be able to do blues stuff. I like to be able to have the theatre stuff. I like to do it all because I get bored.
Mm.
So if I constantly be challenging myself, then there's always some new exciting project on the horizon. I like to live in a perpetual state of fear. And if I've got something coming up that's scaring me, then I'm alive.
Mm.
If there's nothing coming up that's scaring me, then I'm just like, whatever, what am I doing here? Just playing the same songs again,
So you got to be constantly
blah,
kept
blah,
busy,
blah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nervous about what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. I'm in 4 bands as well as working full time as well as running this thing. So yeah, I know, I understand that need.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just constantly
Yeah.
fulfilling
Good
yourself
for
up.
you.
Yeah, it keeps you on your toes. So
Mm.
going back to your tour, because has it started yet, or it starts in the end of this month?
June.
June.
Yeah,
Okay.
June.
So is the Imperial Hotel one? Is that the first date?
I don't know. When's the Imperial?
June 1st, I think.
Let's check this calendar.
Put you on the spot there, mate.
June. Yeah, it's the first one.
Whoa,
Yeah.
nice.
Yep, great. I'm just at home rehearsing for it at the moment, so just day in, day out, I'm practicing the piano, and I have I'm in a weird headspace because we have just finished writing a Super Jesus album,
Hmm, I
so
did
we've
know
got a
that.
new record about to come out. But I've also been writing for my solo record, so and that's almost finished. So I sort of got two records kind of sitting there, and the solo record has to kind of wait in the sushi train for the Super
Hmm.
Jesus record to do its thing and then go afterwards, which is frustrating. So I'm thinking of playing some of the new stuff on the tour anyway, just to kind of
Road test.
protest and see what people think. Yeah.
Road test. So, uh, are you recording the Super Juices album locally, or do you have to go down to Sydney for that one?
We do it in Sydney. Yeah. Our
Yeah.
drummer is our producer, Murray Sheridan, and we do it in his studio.
Right. So, but like, is Ruddy still in Adelaide?
Yep.
Oh wow! So you got to
Yep.
drag everyone from like basically the corners of Eastern Australia just to come into the studio.
Yep. But that's right. We're used to that. It's been a long time since we all lived in Adelaide. So like, I mean, even like a few years ago when we had our old drummer Paul in the band, we used to fly him in from Seattle every time there was a gig.
What?
Yeah.
That
So
would
that became rather expensive.
yeah. I was going to say that would blow out your budget, wouldn't it?
Uh-huh. Well, like, we could take that show, but we're going to spend, well, all the money bringing the drummer over. So don't worry. So we had
Jesus.
to pick and choose. Make sure there's a couple of shows. Yeah.
Holy crap. I would never imagine. I couldn't even fathom that. I mean, like getting someone over from New Zealand's one thing, but yeah, getting someone over from Seattle just to come and do some shows, nah, screw that.
Yeah. So Murray living in Sydney is not a problem.
No, exactly. So, if we want to focus on the Super Jesus sort of side of things right now, since you've been talking about, is it already finished the art like the recording process for it into the mixing sort of side of things now?
No, we have mixed and mastered seven, and we're now about to go into the studio to record the rest.
Cool.
But and so then we were inspired, and then radio, and while we're touring, we're busy writing the love. So it's kind of fun. Like, so
Mm.
the rest of it is really fresh.
So is it a continuation of say like Love and Violence? Because I love that EP.
It is more like Love and Violence, actually. The songs are more they're slightly more poppy, like um less sort of adult orientated rock, like that we because it's not that's sort of a bad term, but like sumo, we were like what is it was like intelligent rock, like it was like a lot of complicated riffs,
Yeah,
like you couldn't tap it out. It's like science trying to learn that shit.
yeah.
Like at the moment, I'm trying to learn, like, revamp some of those songs for piano. It took me all
Oh,
day down again today. I was like, this song sucks. I love it, but it's, yeah, they're really complex. But no, the new songs are, we wrote them for the people, you know.
mm.
They're not like, oh, look at how intelligent our riffs are. They're like, here's some songs for you guys. You can sing along, they're easy to follow, and they're fun.
It's the Kiss method, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep it simple.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, like that, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with like the whole four chords and the truth kind of aspect of things like the country stars usually do. So they're
Yeah.
onto something good. But
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting how the simplest songs are just actually so much harder to write.
yeah,
They really are, like, difficult songs. Like, you just sort of keep digging and you keep writing, you keep layering things, you keep adding things and adding new bits, and it's just like, wow, it's a masterpiece. But the really simple ones, like, I usually write really complex things and then cut things one by one by one by one, cut words, cut sections, cut chords, and then I bring it right back. It's like The Alchemist. You walk
yeah,
all the way around the world to find out everything you needed was right here.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. The whole self-editing
You have to just
process thing
start
can
there.
be it can be cutting the fat, and the self-editing process can be an absolute nightmare sometimes. I know, as someone that self-produces it, you you struggle because you think, oh, there was something there, but then you're afraid to pull that out in case that something there was actually the magic bit.
You know what? That's funny that you should say that, because I say this to myself all the time. Don't be afraid to pull what you think is the magic bit. Sometimes I hang on to things that I think, oh, that's the magic bit. But
Hmm.
then as I'm cultivating the story around it, I'm like, that line's magic. But it actually doesn't really help the story anymore because I've
Mm.
written around it. But that's a great line. And then sometimes you go, you know what? It's a great line, but it doesn't suit where I've taken the story since then. So then sometimes you just gotta let it go. And I always do when I'm doing on my pages, I do a save as. So I just go,
Yeah,
that's song one, that two, three, four. So if I wake up the next morning and I think I listen to it, I think, oh my God, I've cooked it. Where's the hook? I could go back to,
yeah.
version two or three and go, oh, that's right. God, I shouldn't have got rid of the magic bit.
That's why you have like basically the three, four, final mix four, final mix six, final mix coming up, and
Yeah.
yeah, fills up. I know exactly what that is.
Yeah,
Um,
because I'm changing things to the bitter end, like especially lyrics. I'm just constantly like reading through the stories. I never used to. I'm really pedantic about lyrics now. Every line has to mean something, and every line has to be easy to understand for the storyline. Like, I don't put lines in anymore that sound cool, that are like, colorful metaphors. Like, it's just,
mm,
I want to be able to understand what's happening, and I read it like a book, and I want to follow it almost like a nursery rhyme. Go, I understand these are the people, that's where they're going, there's the chorus, that makes perfect sense. Not like, well, what's that line there for anyway? I mean, does that even make sense? Like, I always used to have them everywhere because it sounds cool, but I'm really like staunch now on not letting myself get away with that anymore.
well, that's teenage writing, teenage poetry. I mean, I've looked at stuff that I've written when I was a teenager. I'm just going, well, that's really descriptive, but what the fuck does that mean now?
Yeah, totally. But it was also in the 90s, like, you could get away with talking
Mm,
sort of in riddles and like descriptive, or not descriptive, more sort of vague metaphors that, kind of just give off of like pain or grief or anguish, or, that was a real 90s regret. That's a real 90s thing. Whereas
mm.
now it's just like, just tell me what's fucking going on with it.
Get straight to the fucking point. But are you still
Yeah.
writing about the similar sort of themes that your younger self was writing about, but it's a more mature bent? Is that basically the crux of it?
Um, no, I think I used to write what I thought you're supposed to write. Like, I would like read Soundgarden lyrics and go,
Mm,
well, what's Chris Cornell writing about? I need to, what's Billy Corgan writing about? I gotta write shit like this. Whereas now I write about, and I only write about things that I understand and that are honest to me. Because I feel like the one person that you can't pull the wool over their eyes is your own heart. And if I'm writing and in my own heart, if I'm buying it, if I'm believing what I'm saying,
mm.
then I'm like, I'm fine. Like, even if it's weird, like, but if it's actually true and I know that it's real, then I'll 100% back it. But if I'm embellishing anything because it's like, sounds cool, I know in my heart of hearts it's not actually real, and I just think with this, I'll always stop because I think if I'm not buying it, if I'm not buying it, no one else is going to buy it. And when I say buy it, I mean like believe it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So,
Yeah,
but given that you basically have two different personalities with the Super Jesus personality and your solo personality, are you writing different subject matters in that regard?
I am. Yes,
Mm,
and we have discussed this because I can't be too personal in the band because I sort of have to speak for the band.
mm,
This is actually the reason I went solo in the first place. I found it difficult where I couldn't actually say my innermost feelings of what I wanted to get out because I was representing a bunch of other dudes. So I was like, I need to be able to get this out. I need to be able to do what I want to do. So I went solo. So now I've got both. So in my solo work, I speak deeply the heart at whatever cost. And in the Super Jesus, I still speak from the heart, but I find ways around it, stories that we can all make do. I don't go too into McLeod brain.
hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess
I don't
because
want to
you
scare
asked.
anyone away.
Well, I'm guessing the other guys will probably get quizzed on what the hell that song's supposed to mean. I mean, like, I'm shit with lyrics
I
too.
don't think they listen to the lyrics.
I don't listen to my own band's lyrics.
Yeah, no. I don't actually think a lot of bands listen to their singers' lyrics. I think punters do, but
Hmm.
people in bands just go, "Oh, what a great riff!" Oh, I don't think anyone listens to the lyrics.
In one of the bands I'm in, I was singing the wrong harmony line for like 2 or 3 years. It was a certain line, and I just heard the melody, and I was singing the completely utter different words. And it wasn't until we went to record the actual song I said, "What are you singing?" I went, "Well, it's this," and they went, "No, that's not the actual lyrics." And
Oh wow.
it turns out the lyric was the name of the song, and I didn't know all that time.
Oh,
Yeah,
geez,
idiot.
Reese, what a buffoon move.
Bass player. Don't worry about me, man. We can't help that shit. I'm thinking about the groove
That's
more than
funny.
anything.
Yeah. Well, I hear you. It's hard to do two things at once.
Yeah. Um, I want to have a bit of a discussion about your guitar that you did for your solo work. And so
Yeah.
there is another band. I don't know if you know the Royal Artillery,
No, who are they?
Melbourne based band duo thing, and they do a very similar thing. I'm assuming you've got two inputs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is one connected to a bass pickup, or is it basically and the other one going to like a standard guitar pickup? Is that what you got happening? Yeah.
Yeah.
And the one gun then also goes to like an octave down and then into a bass rig, and then the other one goes straight to a guitar rig.
That's right.
Science.
Yeah.
I actually do the reverse with one of these basses behind you.
I did.
Yeah, but I don't have the two pickups. I basically just go straight split. I actually split the signal through an FX pedal instead. So I bypassed all the electrical engineering and just got a certain pedal that does that anyway.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
So you're playing the bass to make it sound like a guitar, like the guy from Royal Blood.
exactly.
Yeah. Cool. That'd be good. I've always wondered what that would be like. I feel like you would have be a bit heavier, wouldn't
It's
it?
a thicker sound than going an octave down. Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
we are restricted by only the four strings, but I'm guessing when you're playing, do you like do heavy chords when you're doing the low sort of you wanting that real bass to come through, or you go to single string picking?
Sometimes I do drop D
Yeah,
things, so you put an octave on the bass,
yeah,
which can sound pretty
meaty.
bombastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but now you want to go basic. If you were given the chance just to do everything all piano, would you do that and the solo stuff and just get rid of the whole guitar thing completely?
Well, that's my goal. Well, I like, in a few years, I would love to have the Super Jesus. I can like get my rock and roll soul sorted over here, and then be playing in theaters at a baby grand piano, with everyone just seated and pin drop quiet. That's what I would love to do. That's what I'm aiming for.
how
So at the moment, I'll just do a little keyboard, but I'm working up to that
how did you teach yourself though? Because piano's not an easy thing to teach yourself.
by having a guitar on my lap and picking one by one. So I'm still doing it. I've been doing it all day. I just go, how does this song go? Like, because I'm working out songs from my back catalogue and Super Jesus songs, and I just put the guitar in my lap, and some of them are so hard, like because I'm trying to work out songs that were written in like drop C tuning and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and picking out note by note, and then sitting there painstakingly at the piano, trying to work out what it is, put it all together, and then go, okay, now transpose it to a key that is easier to play on the piano, and then try and learn it from then, try and work out the fingering, and it's um it's actually it's quite hard. Like I think if there's songs that were written on the piano is one thing, but songs that were written in odd tunings on guitar to then take them to the piano,
Yeah.
it's a bit of a mind fuck.
You actually give me a bit of anxiety just thinking of that whole process.
Yeah. Oh, this morning I spent 6 hours this morning taking down again from C sharp on the guitar to and then working it out on the piano, and then transposing it to A because I wanted to sing it lower and I wanted to play the white keys instead of all the black keys.
Yeah.
And so then there's like a note that you can't work out, you've got to like lift everything like sort of four semitones and then take it to the guitar. It was like, fuck, man.
Far out.
I had bits of paper everywhere. Yeah, it's like maths. I've just got bits of paper everywhere with notes everywhere. And I never write down what they are. Like, look, here's one now. Just fucking bits of paper everywhere, these things.
But
Everywhere I turn.
okay, so the rhythm of like gravity is not wouldn't be an easy one to transpose over to the keys. So you'd have to simplify that, right?
Well, a lot of the times I'm sort of rewriting them now on piano. So I'll
Ah,
get the feel of what it is, and then I'll go, okay, how would that flow with the piano? So I've written gravity again, not forever, but I've sort of rewritten the piano part to make
mm,
it work, and it's really beautiful. So you just gotta, you can't play it exact. You've got to kind of rewrite a new version,
yeah,
but you've got to understand where it came from in order to be able to take it somewhere else. So that's the time-consuming part. You got to learn it as it is, and then going, okay, now that's a clusterfuck. What do we do now, and where to take it and make it work on the piano, and to bring the soul out of it. That's what the piano is about, just
yeah.
bringing the soul out of a song.
Because I have to admit, I have actually seen you play the piano live. I saw you playing out the front of Night Quarter on top of like a raised plinth thing.
Oh God, yeah.
And because I had to blink, I had to look twice because I just Sarah doesn't play fucking piano. And as I walked past, I talked to my wife, and I went, I swear it's fucking Sarah McLeod up there. And she's going, really annoying. And I heard you sing, like, up, yep. And I went, wow, okay, she plays piano, cool. All right, here we go. So yeah,
Yeah,
I wouldn't have
I've
noticed that
been
you were just.
practicing.
Well, that was 2 years ago that I saw that. So you would have
Yeah,
just been learning then, right?
yeah,
Dude, you were
yeah.
killing it.
Thanks. Well, I still have a long way to go. It's going to take a long time to get where I want to be, but I'm committed to it because I just really love the instrument. Like I don't remember ever practicing guitar. I don't think I've ever practiced guitar. I just kind of
Just
play enough to get by, just to accompany myself. I
mm.
always fancy myself as a singer, plays guitar just so I'm not a cappella. But piano, I just love it. Like I just really to understand it and be better at it. So I'm actually sitting there practicing, which is new for me.
You're on a Daniel Johns like trajectory doing that because he did a very similar sort of thing.
He's a good piano player, yeah. And I
Yeah.
remember him saying to me years ago, "Oh, you can tell my piano playing because it sounds like Thunderbirds." And so because I don't have anyone to teach me. I never sort of stand and watch anyone. I don't really understand what it's supposed to be. Like I'm just kind of guessing.
Yeah.
So I remember him saying that. I was like, so he plays like that. Okay, like so, that's a goal. I need to work out how to play like that or better than that. When I started working out how to do the bass notes with my left hand, like that was this big thing. I
Mm.
remember seeing Kate Soprano playing, and she was telling me that she was a really shit piano player. And I saw her play on TV, and I was watching her hands, like trying to see if she did the left bass like this, but she had two hands. I was like, she's not shit. She's got two hands. Wow.
She's talking
Yeah.
it down, talking it. Yeah. Oh wow. One thing that I completely forgot you had done until I again went dive through your back catalog. You teamed up with one of my heroes. You teamed up with
Jeff
Jeff fucking Martin.
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
had to listen to that song, and I just went, "Holy shit! That's basically the Tea Party with Sarah McLeod singing the front of it."
Yeah. Yes, he's good like that. I write these little pop ditties and I take them to Jeff and he makes them sound like the Tea Party.
He's just the man. He's the only guy that I've totally lost my shit and did a fanboy moment with. And because
What'd you do?
he did a solo show at Soul Bar up here. Like, I'm talking, I'd have to say 10 years ago now. And he literally played to 60 people. It was fucking criminal. And he came basically off the stage once he finished and just mingled with everyone and said hello to everyone. And I was just sitting there watching this guy because I love Edges of Twilight and Splendor Solace and Transmission. Those albums are just ingrained in here. And there he was right in front of me. And I was just starstruck and I hugged him twice. I couldn't fucking help it.
That's great. Yeah,
So,
he can be a bit intimidating. He's got a very intimidating vibe.
oh, such a rock star.
Like he's big, he's got that big voice. Yeah. Hi.
So,
Yeah.
but how did that collaboration come about, though?
I did a thing about 10 years ago where I was inviting different artists to every sort of, I think once a month at this place on the Central Coast. It was like Sarah McLeod and Friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I would invite a different artist each month and we would sing songs together. And he was one of my invitee artists, and we got along really well. And then we decided to start doing some work together. We've actually done a whole record together, so we just haven't released it yet.
Holy shit!
I spoke to him on the phone. Do you want to put the album out? I was like, we should put the album out.
You should put the album out.
So we're gonna get back in there and finish the record and put it out soon.
And that would be
it's a shame because it's a record. So I was like, why are we not putting this record out? Let's do it. We've been sitting on it for years.
Because the Super Jesus toured with them too, didn't you?
Yeah. That was probably about 6 years ago, I think.
So was that for Edges of Twilight anniversary?
Beats me.
Because they're one of the bands I've seen like multiple times, and I think it's them and Incubus and I think Biffy Clyro. They're the only three bands I've seen like multiple times. Oh, and Shihad, because Shihad's fucking.
Oh, yeah. I love Shihad too.
Yeah. I always lose my shit when I see shit. I'm gonna go see them next month. You'll be on.
They're great.
Yeah. Well, I finally get to see. I don't know if you can see the shirt. Can you see the shirt?
I can't see the shirt.
Can't see the shirt.
Oh yeah, Rat Cat.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
I've never seen them. Finally get.
They're great.
Finally get to see them. Tick that off my list for once, and I'm so fucking excited about that. Anyway.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
I do have one more question for you before we wrap things up. And when I was doing my digging around, the album Madness.
Yes.
That's not.
Where is it?
Where is it?
I've never released it. I write a fair few albums that I don't release. I write things and then I get cold feet and then I go, you know what? I'll just put it on my hard drive. I tell you where it is. It is in here.
It's another case of the Tea Parties and Sarah McLeod. Yep. Got to release it.
Yep.
Are you not happy with it, or you just?
No, I just moved on. I took too long. If I don't release it quick enough,
okay,
I move on musically, and now to me it just seems a bit dated. Just I've moved on. I don't want to have that kind of music anymore.
Because you wrote that overseas, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So is
that?
In New York, so like New York and UK, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, and a bit in LA. Yeah, but I don't even listen to it. I don't even want to listen to it.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, I might listen to it and go, "Fuck, this is great." Maybe, but it is very different style, and I feel like I was a different person then.
Yeah,
and
I get that.
I just feel like it's a bit manufactured compared to what I'm doing now.
Okay. So like, there's too much of a gloss and a bit of pop sort of coming through there, a bit too much.
Yeah, like I had a hip hop producer that I was working with for a start. Like I'm rapping on it.
You were what? You were rapping on it? Yeah,
just a quick rap, but there was a rap. Yeah.
Oh come on,
there's another rap. No one's saying it. No.
Wow. All right. On that note, I think we'll wrap things up.
On the pun.
Yeah, you hang on the line there. I'll have a quick debrief with you, but for everyone else, I mean, good luck on the upcoming tour, the One Electric Lady tour, and I'll put in the dates and that sort of stuff in this podcast as well. So, and I will be there at the Imperial Hotel one. I'll get to see that one.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Unreal.
I'm very
Well,
keen.
that's the first cab off the rank, so
Yeah. Don't be nervous.
make any mistakes, it'll be there.
Yeah, I want to see the marionette playing on the keys, basically. I'll be eagle-eyed.
No, I think I'm okay now. We'll see.
Ooh. All right, you hang on the line there. Everyone else, this has been Sarah McLeod, and adios. Big thank you to Sarah McLeod. That was an amazing. What a legend. And I know some of the questions that she probably was not expecting, particularly that Madness album. But yeah, if you're listening, Sarah, please make sure that you talk to Jeff Martin and get that Tea Party and new album out, because that would be amazing. Do make sure you do check out the One Electric Lady tour. Sarah will be all over the place from June. I'll be at the Imperial Hotel one, checking that one out, definitely. A couple more up our sleeve coming up, as I always say. It's going to be fun ones. Yeah, I'm blanking out, but here we go. I should wrap things up. Thank you for listening, and please do subscribe or follow the podcast or whatever. It does make a difference, and if you like this stuff, just let me know. It makes a difference. Thank you for supporting local music, live music, Australian music, music of all sorts. You guys are legends. Adios.